Funding for this program was provided by the Annenberg CPB project.
Remember a couple of years ago, 2 innocent Americans?
Alex DeFord was born with cystic fibrosis, a vicious Suffolk.
Please help.
Tuesday on an all-new A-Team, the guys go Rambo back to Vietnam.
I can't believe it.
And they'll take on an army to clear their names.
Tough way to prove we're innocent.
Then on an all-new Hunter, Dee Dee hits the streets to bag a lady killer.
We definitely have a psycho on our hands.
And a desperate reporter holds the key.
Doesn't sound like a screwball to me.
Tuesday.
2 more people have died.
Major funding for NOVA is provided by this station and other public television stations nationwide. And by Allied Signal, a technology leader in aerospace, electronics, automotive products, and engineered materials. And the Johnson & Johnson family of companies, supplying health care products worldwide.
Local acquisition and broadcast of NOVA is made possible in part by a grant from H&R Block, the income tax people, with offices throughout Western Washington. And in part by a grant from the Polyclinic of Seattle, a multi-specialty group practice of 43 physicians serving the medical needs of the community for over 60 years. And in part by a grant from the Human Affairs Research Centers, a Seattle component of the Pacific Northwest Division of Battelle Memorial Institute.
You're tuned to KCTS, Channel 9, Seattle, community-supported television for the Pacific Northwest.
The Great Space Race is made possible by a grant from the Boeing Company in tribute to those who have dedicated themselves to the exploration of man's next frontier. The Great Space Race is made possible by a grant from the Boeing Company in tribute to those who have dedicated themselves to the exploration of man's next frontier.
Today's broadcasting on KCTS 9 is made possible in part by a grant from Rainier Financial Services.
In Search of the Trojan War takes us back to the days of Bronze Age Greece. Back to the time when the beauty of a woman could launch 1,000 ships. In Search of the Trojan War...
And Jaws, the true story. Look for these wild television specials and much more during Bright Nights, starting May 31st here on KCTS 9.
400 years ago, a village disappeared from the face of the earth.
Money to what?
The story of Roanoke on American Playhouse.
War or natural disaster. The walls of Troy bear silent witness as host Michael Wood pieces together more of the puzzle of the Trojan War. Join us for episode 2 of In Search of the Trojan War, The Legend Under Siege.
Examine conflicting evidence, Monday night at 8. You're tuned to KCTS, Channel 9, Seattle, community-supported television for the Pacific Northwest.
The Great Space Race is made possible by a grant from the Boeing Company in tribute to those who have dedicated themselves to the exploration of man's next frontier. The Great Space Race is made possible by a grant from the Boeing Company in tribute to those who have dedicated themselves to the exploration of man's next frontier.
Coming up at the end of May, KCTS 9 begins 10 bright nights with some wild television specials. Travel to one of the most isolated coastlines in the world, the Hebrides Islands off Scotland, home to a thriving population of seals. How can any species breed and survive in such treacherous waters? Watch Wild Seas, Wild Seals, a survival special, and find out. Then, National
Race is made possible by a grant from the Boeing Company in tribute to those who have dedicated themselves to the exploration of man's next frontier.
There are not too many subjects upon which the Soviet Union and the United States agree. There is, however, one point upon which they are in total agreement, and to many people it is a startling one, and that is that the episode of human life being confined to Earth is coming to an end. Space will be the next civilization. Here in the Soviet Union and in the United States, plans are on the drawing boards for space colonies.
The Great Space Race is made possible by a grant from the Boeing Company in tribute to those who have dedicated themselves to the exploration of man's next frontier. Companion reading for The Next Civilization is available in bookstores. It's entitled Pioneering the Space Frontier.
Today's broadcasting on KCTS 9 is made possible in part by a grant from Rainier Leasing Incorporated.
Coming up at the end of May, KCTS 9 begins 10 bright nights with some wild television specials. Travel to one of the most isolated coastlines in the world, the Hebrides Islands off Scotland, home to a thriving population of seals. How can any species breed and survive in such treacherous waters? Watch Wild Seas, Wild Seals, a survival special, and find out. Then, National Geographic takes you to deepest, darkest India, to the land of the tiger. Daring footage brings you close up to this most savage predator. What are the laws of the jungle? Meet the enforcer for the answer. And finally, Nova examines the most feared animal of the deep, the shark. Is it the ruthless man-eater Hollywood portrays? Find out in the special Jaws, the true story. Wild Seals, Land of the Tiger, and Jaws, the true story. Look for these wild television specials and much more during Bright Nights, starting May 31st here on KCTS 9.
Visit Zambia and one of the few remaining unspoiled wildlife sanctuaries in Africa with the late Orson.
One meal a day, a Roman meal.
We will return to the television premiere of Nobody's Child.
Beginning next Sunday, a man with a vision for what could be.
There's no mountain can't be beat.
And the only woman who could share in the dream.
Charles is going to make a mark on our time, and I want to be with him when he does.
Two lovers on a rendezvous with destiny.
The future's in the West, Jesse. That's where the dream is, the promise.
And the one man who could put a stop to it.
My attentions to my daughter are to cease at once.
Richard Chamberlain is John Charles Fremont, a great American hero who took his dream west. Tuesday.
I know he's up to something.
When a reporter is the only witness and she's seen too much.
He's already killed her friend.
The only man she can turn to is the equalizer.
This is CBS.
Monday is our $1 one-day sale at the Bond. Now you can get the matching box spring to any of these Simmons, Sealy, or Spring Air mattresses for just $1. Purchase any of these mattresses at our everyday low prices, and the matching box spring is just $1. Even the Sealy Posturepedic, the Simmons Beauty Rest Deluxe, and the Spring Air Back Supporter Ultima 1 are on sale for just $1. Our one-day $1 sale happens Monday only at the Bond, where the choices are.
The Mariners on Cairo TV and Cairo News Radio 71.
Hello, I'm Linda Coldhiron in the Eyewitness Newsroom. Some of the stories we'll have for you at 11. Port of Seattle police are holding a man tonight after he aroused the suspicions of airlines personnel and tried to run from police after the plane he was on was returned to the gate just before takeoff. We'll have the story. If you've ever dreaded moving from one house to another, think how bad it would be to move a house from one place to another. And in case your social life needs a boost, we'll take you to a catfish festival tonight at 11.
Taco Bell is giving away 2 trips for 2 to sunny Mexico during Taco Bell's Mazatlan Fiesta Days. Enter today for your chance to win a trip to Mazatlan at Taco Bell locations where you'll find the cure for the common meal.
We now return to Marlo Thomas, starring in Nobody's Child.
I'm a senior accountant with the IRS, and I love Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Brave adults continue to challenge the notion that Frosted Flakes is just a kid's cereal.
For years, I paid the kids next door to buy them for me. I know it's awful. I love the taste.
With that extra crunch in milk, that frosting just right, they have a taste adults can love every bit as much as kids.
Cynthia?
Howard, you too? Oh.
We're proud of these brave Americans. Won't you join them? Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great!
Think a stain won't come out? Go for Spray and Wash first. It's gotten out more stains than any other stain remover. Spray and Wash for stains you thought would never come out.
You could save up to $6. $6 in Texas coupons or $3 in cash. And win a great Hawaiian family vacation from these Texas brands. Details in today's paper and on this Texas store display.
Ta mère est si belle, si mince. Est-ce qu'elle mange? Que tu es bête. Un peu moins avec ça. Fiber Trim, fait de grains et de citrus. Ça t'embête qu'elle soit si belle? Non, je connais tous ses secrets.
Fiber Trim, the European way to help you stay slim.
AT&T is in fast action. The Buffalo Sabres wanted to sell more tickets.
Sabres ticket office?
We recommended AT&T International 800 service.
I just need your credit card number.
Which quickly expanded their market.
This makes over 1,100 orders from Canada.
And boosted sales 20%.
Sold out.
Another reason to choose AT&T long-distance services. Talk with us. AT&T, the right choice.
And now, the conclusion of Nobody's Child.